Hello and welcome back. Right now I'm working on painting these elves. You can see I got one green, one red. I usually don't make them the same. That's one thing I like, is using creativity to make something different. But anyway, I went through already and I painted the face, the feet, the flesh color. I went and painted the eyes. You can see here all white. And then I just used black for the background, and then I put a white dot here. And then one thing kind of new that I did was on the very top here, I put like black on the top. Kind of gives it more depth. And over here I'm kind of just painting his ear canal in. And you can see on various areas where I got my green over top of my flesh. Well, my key to getting a good detailed paint is one, go to a smaller brush as you work your way down, and then where you went over, like this flesh went into this guy's hair and the color went up into his hair, so I will come in here and paint that again. And then if I got carryover or something, I just go back and paint it again and again until I like it. And I probably will antique these guys with like a burnt umber. And this guy is similar. You hopefully can see how I did his eye here. Yeah, where it's black, it's got a white dot, and it's got black over top. And I started to paint his teeth, and in the background, even though I stained it, I did paint some black back there, and then I'll come back and paint his lips. Just make sure, what I do when I do his lips is that I usually take a red, and then I take flesh, and then I mix it together, and because you don't want really big red lips on your elf. At least I don't. And don't forget, on the bottom, the painting is not necessarily important. Oh, one thing I did do to these guys that I don't normally do, I did paint them with gesso. Something you can pick up at any kind of painting store, craft store. Just makes your painting more even all around. I did that to these guys, so a lot. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. And I will be probably staining these guys with a burnt umber kind of a oil base at the very end. And so we'll get into painting. Like I said, you go from a big brush. I use all different kinds of brushes. You can see here different thicknesses and some of the really fine ones, so they can really get some really good detail. The smaller the brush, the greater the detail. So another thing, what I'm using is acrylic. You can get this at any kind of craft store, Walmart, Joann Fabrics kind of store, Hobby Lobby or whatever. And I do mix some of my paints. If I think that this red is too red, I will mix it up a little bit. So on with painting here. So I think I'm going to clean up his toes a little bit. You can see how red they are. I have a little tray with my paints all ready to go. So I'll just come in here, get some on here, and I usually touch the side of my little tray so it doesn't blob on too bad. And I'll keep going over this until I'm satisfied with it. Which painting takes a little bit of time. One thing you want to do is your hand to your piece, get as close as you can. That kind of takes the the shaking out of it if you're prone to shake, like me. Or you put your piece down on the table here. Like this. And get as close as you can. Sometimes if you have to, you know, you can hold your other hand if you get in a really detailed area, which the feet are not detailed. The eyes are not attracted to the feet, but once you get into the eyes of the piece or the face, you really want to make sure that detail is correct or really fine, because if the eyeballs are off or something, you'll be able to tell that right off. But you just go in here, and if you're going to stain it like I do, you don't really have to worry about way back in that carving, because that will be stained and you won't be able to see all that. But I do like to get it as detailed as possible, because I'm not satisfied if it's not the way I want it before I stain it. So there you can see, that really brought his feet out. I might paint a little toenails on there, but you can see that one, so it looks a lot better. So that's how I get very detailed. Paint one color, come back, paint the other. One thing you gotta watch, if you do mix the red to a different color, like you add white with red and you get a lighter, then you got to be careful about, if you have to do a touch-up, you have to mix that exactly the same. It takes a little talent to do that, or it takes a little time, not really talent, I guess. Just mixing it makes sure it's the same, because I painted these guys yesterday on this paint and it's all dried. It doesn't take that long to dry. Some people use a hairdryer, but I'm not in that big a hurry. As you can tell, it's taking me a while to get back to painting this guy. But anyway, just showing you some techniques, what to do here. And on the bottom, of course, you're not going to be able to see that, but you want to be happy with how you're painting it. So I think that's the only flesh right now that I need. And one thing that I do is always have some water nearby. And what I might do is just, if I clean it off, I just put it in here in the water, shake it off on acrylics, take a paper towel, dampen it, go back and forth to make sure there's no paint in it, and make sure it's the way you like it there. Or if I'm in a hurry, I'll just throw it in. If I got another brush that I want to use, I'll just throw it in there and then clean it later. Right now I just cleaned it, so it's ready to go for another paint. Okay, so I'm running out of time on this video, but there's his feet. We'll get into more of his face, maybe his mouth or whatever, on the next video. Thanks.